Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing another pick a card reading for spiritual gifts. And there's going to be a series of spiritual gifts pick a card readings on my channel pretty soon here. This is the second one I'm doing. And the reason why I say that is because I have created my own spiritual gifts personal deck. And I have made cards for so many different spiritual gifts in every single thing that you could do with spirituality, like automatic writing or anything to do with spirituality. Like everything that I have come across is written on a card. It's a part of this deck that I've made myself, and I can't make just one pick a card reading to talk about every single gift. It would be so long. So I'm just going to make a series of card readings until I go through every single card in this deck. So I chose seven different cards to use today, and I chose 7 different crystals and placed them here, so you can choose 1 or 2 or 3 or however many crystals you want to choose, or you could just choose the number to see what spiritual gift you have. This reading isn't based on the clairs like clairaudience or clairvoyance. This one is based on different practices like automatic writing, but there are a few of them that are popularly talked about, like empaths. That's one in here as well. So don't expect to see any of the clairs in this one. If you would like to know what your predominant clair psychic gift is, you can watch my first spiritual gifts reading. It's called Pick a Card, What Are My Psychic Abilities? So you can check that one out, and I did put in the title, the clairs, just so you know. And so the order that this is gonna go in is I'm going to begin with this one and end with this desert rose crystal. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I'll just real quick show you these crystals close up. This is a Chinese writing stone. This is number 1. This is 2. This is a picture jasper. I don't know what this one is, but I wanted to include this one in this reading today because I wanted to make it color coordinated. As you can see, there's like a really earthy feel to this reading, just like the look of it. And I can't remember what this stone is called, but it's got a really special energy to it. It's like a rebel. That's what I call it. I call it wicked. My wicked stone. This is a citrine. And this is the desert rose. And I'm going to use my dragon tinges before I begin this reading, so you can hear some sound healing. Okay. And I pulled a card for this reading because I was curious what message Spirit would have about this reading. And Integrate Your Knowing came out, and it's funny because this actually is color coordinated with this a display as well with all the crystals and candles. So I thought it was pretty cool that this one came out for us in this reading. So this reading is going to bring awareness to your gifts, and you probably are already aware of what gifts you have, but this reading may bring you more awareness about it, and so you can then integrate it more into your life. And you could say, oh, I have precognition. I could see events transpire before they even happen. And just knowing that and learning a little bit more about the gift, maybe I'll say something in this reading and it will be something that you haven't heard of before, and it will bring light on something that you have been experiencing, but you weren't aware that it was a part of your psychic gift. So this reading is going to really like integrate that into your life. You're going to integrate your gift into your daily practice maybe, or just integrate something that you learned from this reading, integrate your knowing. So now that I shared that with you, I'm going to begin with group 1. Okay, so let's see what spiritual gift you have. Ooh, I love this blue, the backing in this. Okay, mediumship. You are a mental medium, meaning you receive evidence of life after death through a mental capacity. You can communicate with spirit people, past loved ones, and past loved ones. You provide evidential messages that someone is eternal and lives on. They don't like truly go away. They don't truly die. So you are a medium, and this doesn't mean that you do personal readings and you do it for a career professionally. It could just mean that you are able to communicate with past loved ones or spirit guides or just souls that are in the spirit world. And you can see them, or you can hear them, you can feel them around you, and you sense them psychically. And there's this saying that not all psychics are mediums, but all mediums are psychics. So if you have chosen group 1, this reading, then it means that you are very psychic. You are psychic in spades. And you could see spirit a lot of the time or just feel them around you, and there's many different ways that you can experience past loved ones, but you are able to perceive them in some kind of a way, and if you choose to, you can give evidential messages that someone is talking to you and that they are watching over their loved one or a friend you know. You can go to a family gathering or a party or just a group gathering, and like if you choose to and if you're comfortable with it, you would be able to pass on messages from people in spirit and be able to bring comfort to people close to you. You have that ability. And you can have a back and forth conversation with spirit people or angels or spirit guides. you have like a full-on conversation with them sometimes, and sometimes you may feel that you're only like talking to yourself and having a conversation with yourself, but in reality you are actually communicating with someone on the other side. And you may notice that, like, you may say something negative to yourself, like you may not believe that you could do something, like you don't believe in yourself fully, and all of a sudden you'll receive a thought that like you can do it, and like the message is really empowering. It empowers you, and like the conversation, like the first thought you had, like that was your own thought, but the next one that was really empowering, like it's possible that was like a loved one or a spirit guide, you know, because the like the two messages, the two thoughts are conflicting. One was like self-doubting, but the other is really empowering. So that's one way you can realize that it's actually a spirit guide or a loved one, because you like changed your thought that fast. And I know that we can do that ourselves, if like we're really mindful of our thoughts. I know I do that sometimes, like I'll catch myself when I'm like thinking negatively or worrying about something. But it could also be a spirit person or a past loved one doing that. So just pay attention when that happens. When the thoughts are like really conflicting, and like the messages from your loved ones are going to be really, really positive and uplifting. So just look out for that. And you can get really, really detailed messages from spirit people. Like you can see what they look like, what their hair color was when they were here, and you can really portray their personality if you were to describe them, what you are seeing, what you are sensing. And it's possible that you saw spirit people, like spirit guides, loved ones when you were younger, and you may have seen them physically, but now you just hear them or sense them around you, and so like the gift might have like transformed into something else, but you're still a medium, even though you don't like physically see a spirit anymore. You still see them in your mind, and that's still something to cherish. It's still a beautiful gift to be able to communicate with your loved ones and spirit guides and just have a relationship with them. I do feel that you have a relationship with at least one individual in spirit, whether it be your grandma, or a parent, a spirit guide, a guardian angel. You could talk to your guardian angel a lot, and pray to them. But I feel like this really deep connection with someone in spirit, and it's a really special and beautiful connection that you have with them. But it's also possible that you have a connection with more than one individual in spirit. But I'm just saying, like, it's possible that you have like a really, really strong relationship with at least just one loved one or one spirit guide. And it's interesting that this crystal is correlated with this card because it's a Chinese writing stone, and this is the stone of communication. And mediumship is really about communication with spirit, but it's also about communication with other people. So if you're a medium, you're going to talk to past loved ones and spirit guides and just people that surround someone and are guiding someone, but you also communicate with someone in front of you, like someone that is physically present and wanting to hear from someone on the other side. So like it's all around like communication with yourself, communication with spirit, and communication with the client or a friend or just someone receiving the messages that you give. So you are a really, really good communicator. That's what I'm hearing. Like you're just an all-around amazing communicator, and you give really clear messages and you express your thoughts and what you feel openly. So that's another thing I want to add if you chose this reading. So that's all I want to share. I hope that resonates with you, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, so on to group 2. Let's see what gift you have. This is the backing of the card. Oh, you are an empath. And there's a lot of empaths that I have met. And so I know a lot about people with this ability and experience this like on the daily. It's not something that you just experience one day. It's something that lives with you your whole life. If you are an empath, and you are because you chose this one. So you can feel what others feel. If someone has a headache, you can feel their headache. This ability can be mild or strong. On an extreme level, you can take on others' pain. It can be difficult to separate your own emotions from others' emotions. And so this ability, like some people say it's a curse and others say it's a gift. So you could think it's a curse or you could think it's a gift. That's just something that I have heard, and some people think it's a pain to have because you really do feel what others feel, whether it's negative or positive, and it is hard to separate what you feel from what others feel. So when you have this ability, you have to learn how to put up boundaries and protective measures when it comes to your energy field, and just like putting up that energetic boundary around yourself, putting up that personal bubble around you to keep out what you don't want to feel, you know, like you want to just feel what you feel. You don't want to feel what others feel at times if it's negative. But you also have a choice. Like, if you're gonna have a conversation with your friend, it's okay to let down your guard, and you want to feel like that empathy still, because like it really is a gift to feel what others feel, because you can understand them and you can put yourself in their shoes, and it's really easy to communicate with them because you just have this deep understanding and you feel what they feel. But at times, like, you really want to put up that personal bubble around yourself. And there are like people that experience this on a mild level, but there's others that experience this on an extreme level, and that's when you take on physical pain that others are feeling, and like physical sickness. Like if someone has a headache, you all of a sudden like have a headache and you feel that. And that is like the extreme level. And so it's about knowing how to put up boundaries and protection for yourself when it comes to this gift. And I learned this from a really good spiritual teacher on YouTube. Her name is Kelly in the Raw. And she talks a lot about putting up protection, and she taught it like really simply how to do this. So the biggest thing when it comes to putting up boundaries and protection is your attitude and your intention. So first of all, you need the intention that you don't want to feel the other's emotions. You want to keep them out. You want to block them out. That's your intention. And then second, you want to put like an attitude into it. So say, no, I'm only going to feel my energy today, and anyone else's energy and emotions, like, I don't want to feel it. Like, it's not even gonna pass through this barrier that I put up around me. And you can visualize so many different things, but the biggest thing is you have to believe that it's going to work, and that's like a part of the attitude. If you have the attitude that it's going to work, and no, you're not going to pass through this boundary around me, then it's absolutely going to work. But if there's a doubt there that it's not going to work, it's not going to work. So that's really, really important when it comes to putting up protection. And you can visualize a bubble around you, and it's like a mirror, it's reflective. And so anything that comes your way is going to reflect back to the person. Or it's like you just visualize it somehow blocking the emotional energy. You see it bouncing off, you see it rolling off, anything like that. And when you pair your attitude with a visualization, it's going to work so well for you. So putting up a bubble around yourself is going to be really helpful for you. And I was visualizing this card in my mind as I was talking about putting up a protective barrier around you in like a bubble. So this is a perfect visualization of this. Just see yourself in a globe and picture the energy avoiding you and ignoring you, just reflecting off of the bubble, or just like going around, or just like ignoring you entirely. And another thing you can do is just visualize yourself as invisible in the ethereal world, and like adopt the belief that any negative emotions, any negative emotional energy, it's not even going to see you energetically, because you like make yourself invisible to it. That's another technique that you can use, another visualization. And before you go to a like crowded place, like a concert or any place where there's going to be a crowd, put up that bubble or visualize yourself as being invisible energetically, and tell yourself that all negative energy is not even going to see you. It's going to pass right by you and ignore you. And so it's not going to affect you in any kind of way. And if you go to a family event, or you're going to hang out with a friend, you don't really have to put up the bubble, because you know your friend, There's not really a need to protect yourself. But you can also visualize a dial. Like a dial you can use on an oven to like turn the heat up or anything like that. And just visualize yourself using the dial, as in like you're going to crank it up if you want to receive the emotions around you, or crank it down if you don't want to feel the emotions at all and you just want complete protection from all emotions. And like you could put down the bubble at times, or you could put it up, whatever you want to do. And it is good to do this in the morning, right when you wake up. So you'll have a bubble around you throughout the entire day. So right when you wake up, and you can make it a routine for you if you are really affected by emotions and feeling what others feel, like others' stress, others' worries, others' pain when they're sick, or anything like that. You could set boundaries for what you want to feel, like energetically and spiritually. You could do that. You are in charge of your space, and you are in charge of that. So you can really just like do anything you feel guided to do. And just remember attitude and visualization and intention. So intention, attitude, visualization, and what was the last one? Attitude, intention, visualization, and belief. You have to believe that it's going to work. So that's my advice for you. And I hope that resonates, and I hope that helps you. I would love to hear if you notice a difference by using those techniques. I would really love to hear how it goes for you. And I realized that the crystal that you chose, it says smile on it. And if you're an empath, you feel positive emotions from others or negative ones. But like these practices are going to help you to feel a lot lighter and a lot more joy. It's going to cause you to smile some more and actually feel more of the positive emotions rather than the negative. So it's really going to help with that and to be really positive for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye. Okay, so on to group 3. Let's see what spiritual gift you have. Precognition. And here's the back of this. Okay, this is a really, really cool gift. This is one of my strongest gifts, so I'm really familiar with this one. You have premonitions in waking life or while you sleep. You see things happen before they happen. Your daydreams and thoughts come true, and your dreams at night come true. So you can either have premonitions while you sleep and in dreams, or in waking life and just when you're awake going about your routine throughout the day. I have only had like one premonition in a dream, and the other ones are always when I'm awake, like in the middle of the day. But I know some people only have premonitions while they're asleep and in dreams, and other people have it usually when they're awake. So that's one thing that I've noticed with this gift. And like I've had a premonition dream one time, so you can even have a combination, like you can have premonitions in the day and at night. So there's like variations with this, and you see things happen before they occur. So you can have a dream of a car accident or someone calling you or anything like that. It could be an accident or a really positive thing like meeting your soulmate, anything like that. And some people only have premonitions of negative occurrences like accidents or like wildfires, what do you call those? Natural disasters or things like that. But you have control of that. You can ask your spirit guides to not show you those if they really affect you and you don't want to see what's going to happen. That's negative, like a disaster. But you could also see really positive and beautiful events happen before they occur in your life or somewhere in the world. I don't see negative events happen. I don't have negative premonitions. They're always positive, or they're even on a small scale, like I see a bluebird in my mind and then all of a sudden I see a bluebird later on in the day. So even small things like that are premonitions. So they don't have to be on some kind of grand scale. But this is a really amazing gift to have. And it's always so exciting to see how that vision plays out. And it could even be like a gut feeling. You feel in your gut that something's gonna happen. Or you see a vision of it happening. This gift is usually visual, but you can have premonitions experienced in a different way. And the other day I looked up the gift of smelling, clairgustance. I think that's what it's called. And I saw this title on a website. It said, a psychic can smell disaster before it happens, or like smell things happen before they do. And that was interesting to me to see. So there's different ways that you can see into the future and how this gift can play out for you and be experienced by you. And that's all I would like to share on this gift, and of course you can always look it up and research more about it. So thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day. Bye. Okay, so group 4, let's see what your spiritual gift is. And you've got the tiger's eye crystal. Here's the back of the card, and you are an aura reader, and you can see and read auras. You can visibly see energy like auras around people, objects, and living things. You see flashes of light, sparkles, moving energy, particles in the air, chi energy, or any kind of energy. You may also see spirit orbs and spirit physically. So this is a very, very cool gift to have. And so you can see auras around people physically, or you can see what colors are around people just in your mind. But nonetheless, you can see auras and read them. And I also wrote here that you can see flashes of light, sparkles, and moving energy. So I feel that if you have chosen this reading, at some point you have seen something spiritual to some extent, like a flash of light in the corner of your eye. And I also want to say that usually you will experience this in the corner of your eye. Like, you'll see a sparkle and then you turn and you can't see anymore. You only saw it for a second in your peripheral vision. So there's a reason for this. In your peripheral vision, like, your gaze isn't very focused. And when you learn how to read and see auras, you learn how to soften your gaze to then be able to see the colors. And you can't see them really if your gaze is really focused and sharp. You want it to be soft, like how you see out of the corner of your eye. And that makes it a lot easier to see, like, spirit orbs, flashes of light, moving energy. You really want to unfocus your gaze and soften it. And if you go outside and look up at the sky and you soften your gaze, kind of like you're trying to look at the bridge of your nose, you may start to see, like, moving particles. They're like these small orbs of energy, and you'll see them moving around everywhere, and there's a lot of them, and that's energy. Some people are able to see it easier outside, and some people are able to see it easier when it's dark. For me, it's a lot easier for me to see it outside, when I just look up at the sky and soften my gaze. And it's really cool to see when you see it. It's kind of like the static on a TV, but, like, the particles, the orbs, are, like, really, really small. And it's kind of like looking into a microscope and seeing those, like, small organisms. It's like that, but they're moving. I'm trying to think of another example of, like, what they look like. But you'll see them moving, like, zigzag, and just they'll, like, connect, they'll, like, come together, and then they're like moving all over the place, and very fast. But yeah, you'll start to see stuff if you start playing around with your gaze and looking at things. And you could read auras very well. Like, you'll know if someone is going through a rough patch, or if they're really happy, or you could kind of tell, like, what their thinking patterns are. Is it positive or is it negative? And you could just really tell the person's personality by looking at their auras. And you may know, like, what the blue aura means or the yellow aura means, and you've, like, researched it, and you intuitively can read what the color means and read what you see. And yeah, so that's all I would like to share for this reading. I hope that resonates for you, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, on to group 5. Automatic writing. And that's why I put all the scribbles on here to make it look like writing. So Spirit gives you messages through writing. Spirit guides the writing utensil and impresses thoughts upon your mind as you write. The information written is produced by Spirit. You receive messages by books. So it's possible that you are a writer, and you can even write books, write in your diary, or for a blog, whatever you choose to write for, whatever form you are inspired to write for. You channel messages from Spirit. So you could write in your diary, and you could end up writing something that a spirit tells you, and you'll later read it and you'll realize that it sounds like a loved one that you know, or that thing happened later on. And so you realize that you channeled a message from someone and you wrote it down. So automatic writing is something that you do, and you can either do it intentionally, like you sit down and you ask that a spirit guide or an angel get you to write something, and you write it down rather than speaking the messages. Or you just do it spontaneously, and sometimes you may not even know that you are actually writing what Spirit is telling you. But it's produced by Spirit. Your writing is produced by Spirit, and you could get a lot of inspirational messages. You could get inspired a lot to just sit down and write, and a lot of it is channeled from your spirit guides or loved ones or whoever it is. And that is your gift. You are skilled at that. I'm just thinking if there's anything else that I would like to share about this gift. This gift can be difficult for some people, and this is one of the things that I haven't really gotten down, and it hasn't really clicked with me. I have tried automatic writing before, but I have found that my logical mind really gets in the way most of the time, because when I write, I want to make the spelling perfect, and I'm really intellectual in that way. I always want to proofread what I just wrote. I want to make the spelling right. And so this way of spirit communication, it just doesn't work for me. I'm sure if I really worked at it, I'd eventually get it. But I want to say that it's not for everyone, but if you chose this, you are good at it, and it just comes naturally to you. So maybe you are really good at writing down messages and channeling spirit in that way, but you don't do well with like sitting down and like speaking the messages. So yeah, that's all I would like to share. Oh wait, actually one more thing. So I wrote down receive messages by books. So you could also like intentionally do this. So you ask a question, you take a book out, and you flip through it, and the page that you land on, it's going to give you the answer. Or you could have a question and then all of a sudden you buy a book and you read it and the answer to your question happens to be in that book. Or you search the internet and you come across a quote, or you read something and you get the message in that way. You get messages from Spirit and read them through others' writing, but also through your own writing. So I think that's pretty neat. And that's all I'm going to share for this reading. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that it resonates with you. Bye. So on to group 6. Let's see what your spiritual gift is. Divination. You can find knowledge about the future, present, and past by using many different means of practice. You make predictions and find divine answers to questions by using tarot or oracle cards, pendulums, runes, seashells, or scrying with mirrors. So you use some kind of divination practice, whether it be pendulums or scrying with mirrors and crystals or crystal balls. You use tools and physical objects to divine answers about the past, present, and future, and you're able to answer others' questions and really like make predictions about the future, and convey messages and receive messages through various means or just one kind of divination practice. And you're really good at using tools and objects for this, and you are very psychic and intuitive, and you can do this alone, like without using tools, but I feel that you enjoy using tools like tarot cards to receive messages and give answers for yourself or other people. And there are a lot of different ways that you can divine answers from Spirit when it comes to divination. You can receive messages and premonitions by looking in smoke, and you could start seeing pictures form within smoke, or you can use spirit dice. There's dice that is they're crafted specifically for spirit communication, and letters are carved out in each of the sides of the dice. And you can shake them in your hand and cast them on a board like this, and you can see different words like spelled out, and the way that the dice are placed, they give you some kind of message from Spirit. Or you can use charm casting, reading runes, and there's so many different ways that you can divine answers and predictions made by Spirit, and you read the messages through things. And that's all I'd like to share about this. I hope that makes sense to you and resonates. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day. Bye. Okay, so on to group 7. Let's see what your spiritual gift is. Here we have the healing hand, and I made this myself. It took me some time to do it. So you are a healer. Your energy is very healing. You radiate healing energy outwards towards those who are around you. You even send healing when you pray for your friends and loved ones. Many people and even animals are attracted to you because of this. So your energy is very healing, and you could be a Reiki practitioner or a trance healer, and you go into altered states of trance or deep trance states to allow spirit to step in and heal the person in front of you, or you do distance healing. Or you could be a therapist, hypnotherapist, nurse, doctor, acupuncturist, aromatherapist, nutritionist, like anything that has to do with healing the physical body, your mental state, emotional state, like body, mind, and spirit. You heal any one of those or all of them. And you just attract a lot of people into your life because your energy is so healing, and that's who you are. You are a light worker. And so a lot of people that really need help are attracted to you, and you feel called to help these people. And you could even be attracted to people that need healing as well. So you could experience that often. And that's all I'd like to share for this reading. I hope it resonates with you. And you can subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos on my channel, or you can subscribe just to support me and my readings. And you can visit my Etsy shop if you're interested in purchasing a personal reading from me. I'll leave the link in the description box below. And that's all I could think to share with you. So thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day. Bye.